Hello, everybody. This is Harley with Blue Roof Languages. Welcome to your first lesson on business and conversational English. In today's session, we'll cover key skills to help you navigate the professional and casual conversations in the workplace. Let's go over some lesson goals. First, we want to understand the basics of greetings, introductions, and small talk in American business English. We want to learn common business phrases and distinguish between formal and informal tones, and practice conversational techniques to build confidence in business settings. Let's get into it. Several moments in American history influenced the way small talk and formal communication evolved. Let's take a look at some of these things. Industrial Revolution, 19th to 20th century. As cities grew and workplaces became more structured, the need for formal communication in business increased. Books like Emily Post's Etiquette in 1922 reflected the focus on proper language and behavior, emphasizing politeness. Next, post-war corporate America. The rise of large corporations after World War II brought a new emphasis on workplace hierarchy and professionalism. Communication in business became highly formal with titles and ranks. Small talk in the offices were often revolved around safe, standardized topics like weather and sports. Counterculture, 1960s to 70s. The counterculture movement challenged formal structures, including language. Casual, informal speech became more acceptable in workplaces, especially in creative and progressive industries. The younger generation began blending personal and professional communication, leading to the slow decline of rigid formalities. The tech boom, startup culture. The rise of tech companies like Microsoft, later Google, introduced a new era of workplace communication. Startups promoted casual environments where informal language and flat hierarchy were valued. This shift changed both small talk and formal communication, with phrases like, "let's circle back," or "catch you later," becoming common, even in professional settings. The digital communication remote work era, present moment. The rise of email, messaging platforms, and video calls has reshaped small talk and formal communication. Emails often blend formal and informal tones, using phrases like, "hope this finds you well," to balance professionalism with warmth. Video calls and remote work have also emphasized small talk about home life, pets, personal interests, creating a blend of professional and casual conversations. The social movements and inclusivity. Recent social movements have emphasized inclusive and empathetic communication. Formal language now prioritizes sensitivity and respect for diversity, while small talk often includes a greater focus on well-being, mental health, and inclusivity, reflecting broader cultural shifts. These moments highlight how American small talk and formal communication evolve with changes in society, technology, and workplace culture. And in the US, we are a culture that does respect a bit of formality, of course. However, we're not accustomed to implementing extremely formal language. As a matter of fact, we don't have formal words built into the language, like Spanish, for example. With that being said, of course, there are ways to say things and to carry yourself in a respectful manner. A lot of it is built by your tone of voice and the way that you deliver your message. But it's also very important to know that we as Americans value energy. Even a nice smile can make the difference. So let's talk about some common greetings. Let's start with formal. Good morning, John. How are you today? It's a pleasure to meet with you. So as you can see, I go directly for the first name. We do use somebody's last name. Let's say Mr. Johnson. Hi, Mr. Johnson. How are you today? We will use this if that person is at a position of authority. It's somebody that's much older than you. We can and we will use this. But more generally, we will go directly for the first name, or after the first meeting, we will go right to the first name if you know it, of course. Let's take a look at informal. Hey, John, how's it going? Hey there, nice to meet you. So this is more of a casual way, an informal way to greet somebody. Maybe you spoke to them before, or automatically they're your age and you feel comfortable. You want to go right for it. It's not frowned upon. It's generally good. So you don't want to create distance, especially if you want to be very quickly close with somebody to start a good relationship or start a relationship that will benefit your company. Being on a first name basis is very important in our culture. And the moment that you put somebody too many times on a last name basis will very obviously create distance. I would go as far to say when you see somebody in person or maybe the phone, hey, what's up? And later we'll get into how these things can be written in an email so that it will still sound professional but get the point across, because tone can't be written the same as spoken. But greeting somebody like this is a very quick way to let somebody know that you are open to free conversation. Now let's take a look at a few other ways to greet somebody in an informal way that makes them feel comfortable. And I'm going to give you a little tip, especially in American culture. If you remember somebody's first name, this can go so far. And the reason is because, honestly, it's not so common that people remember someone's first name. So if you can use their first name and remember their first name, make a game out of it, try to connect that name in some way, spend just half a second to remember that, it's a complete deal breaker. It will be great for your company, for your relationship, for yourself. Now let's take a look at some other ways to greet somebody, to start a conversation, or just say hello in general. First one, hey, how's it going? Really friendly, informal, it's good for any colleague. Next one, good morning, how are you today? Really polite. It's a little bit more formal, but it's a really good way to start the day. Hey, how have you been? Really casual, it's good for colleagues. You might hear maybe something written or online that says something like, hi there. It's not used so much anymore, really. Now it's more common to just say, hey. Saying something like hi there seems a little bit dated, a little bit older. Next one. Hey, what's up? Very casual, used with peers, teammates. I noticed that a lot of companies are a little bit more informal than they used to be. The new generation's a little bit more informal than they used to be. Next one. Morning, everything good? Really relaxed, really relaxed. Saying everything good? This is a really common, really informal way to ask how they are, how everything is. Next one. Hi, got a minute? Really nice. This is even good over maybe message or quick email, something like that. Sounds nice. Next one. Hey, how's your morning going? Really good. Really nice. Asking about somebody's morning is great. Quick bonus, obviously, if you remember, they have something going on the day before, some family thing. You're able to ask about that too. Hey, how did that thing go with your family yesterday? Really great way to start off the day. They will think, oh, they remembered something about me. Next one. Hey, all set for today? Really informal, and getting this is a getting focus on the work, making sure that they know and you know something important is coming, and you're thinking about it, which is nice. Hey, how's life treating you? Really friendly, kind of a more informal way to be personable with somebody. This one's really nice. Last one, what's new? This is a good way to start off a chat with somebody. Hey, what's new? they're probably going to go tell you something about their work day. Ah, it's been really busy, something like this, but it's a good way to start a conversation and go right into some slightly more personal things that are happening in their personal or professional life. Okay, guys, so let's get into some common mistakes that beginners make when learning English, particularly in the workplace or professional context. First one, overusing formal or informal language. So, overusing language, something like I humbly request, or informal language or a phrase, something like yo, what's up, in professional settings. So, using language, for example, overly formal language. Maybe in some Latin cultures, I've seen emails that are extremely formal. Overusing this can be a little bit uncomfortable, but also you have to know when to say, yo, what's up? And you probably don't want to write that over an email. It can come off a little bit too informal without tone, without, especially using the word yo. This is probably not the most formal. It's a little too informal, I think, as well. Next one, translating directly from native language. So let's take a very common one, for example, saying something like, I am agree instead of I agree. Obviously, most of the time, no one's going to correct you or laugh at you for it, but we definitely want to practice just some common phrases. And again, this comes down to learning pieces of the language instead of always trying to translate word by word. And we'll get more into this into the future, no problem. Next one, mispronouncing common words. Like this one, for example, super common. Comfortable, comfortable. This is a really common mistake, but it just comes down to listening. You might know this word when you read it, but you're listening to it, and you're going to hear something a little bit different. Okay, next one, mixing up verb tenses. I go yesterday instead of I went yesterday. My best advice is to, every time in your mind you feel like you're using a verb and you're doing something into the past tense, make sure you are using the correct tense. Force yourself to use the correct tense. If you don't know and you want to go for it, that's fine. But you also can ask a very humble, polite question. Hey, is it went or go? Most people would be more than happy to share the correct answer with you. If you're not comfortable, just go for it. The meaning will be there, but go back later and try to figure out which tense did I use correctly or incorrectly. Think about that. Avoiding contractions. I am not going instead of I'm not going. So we don't always use contractions. We love contractions, but we don't always use contractions. Not everything is a contraction always. Just to, again, going back to learning set phrases instead of always piecing things together word by word. This will help you. Another one, overusing or misusing common words. Like, 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 or saying very too much. Very good, oh, very well. That's very, saying these things too much will be redundant and be repetitive. So it's better to just take some time to learn some synonyms for those words. We will learn more of those in the future. Struggling with the question format. So you can help me, or can you help me? So we will again learn the sentence structure a little bit more, but for a sentence, for a question, a question format, you always want to start with the modal verb. Always start with the modal verb, then the subject. So we'll get more into this in the future, no problem. But let's go down to the next one. So not understanding polite phrasing. So give me that report. Again, this could be direct translate from the language, or you just want to express yourself directly. But sometimes, especially in a formal setting, this can come off a little bit demanding. So using something like could, using a modal verb like this could really make the difference. Even I used it right there. Using a modal verb like this will make the tone of the sentence a little bit more polite. And overlooking idioms. So these are really nice, especially at the end of an email or even at the end of a conversation. Let's touch base, or I'll take a rain check. Nice ways to say I'll talk to you later, or let's check in later. Or a rain check is maybe I'll do this thing with you or talk to you about this another time. Really polite ways. Next is fear of making errors. So really don't be afraid to make mistakes or to make errors, especially when you're talking to an American audience. Remember, most Americans are speaking one language and you are speaking more than one language. English is your second language or third language, or whatever it is. This is automatically a good thing for you. So don't be afraid. Don't have fear. Go for it. Even if you feel like you're not speaking every single word correctly, go for it, because your confidence will be worth more than those small mistakes. Hey guys, so this is the end of section 1, foundational skills. We have so much more to cover. Please let me know if you have any questions or something else I missed or something you would like to add. I will see you in the next video.